also known as Adam Campbell, and I'm live here at Origins Game Fair 2017 behind yet another booth. This is becoming a natural occurrence here, I guess, with
Tom Tullis. I'm the owner of Fat Dragon Games, and we are a miniature and terrain production company.
Awesome. So, Fat Dragon Games, how'd you come up with that name?
Well, we started out 13 years ago and been in publishing for about 25 years. And one of the things I wanted was a name that would be totally memorable. You know, you have all kinds of names in the game industry that sound really cool and wicked, but you don't remember them. And at the time, I'd read a study about a wine company called Fat Bastard Wine. And it was a picture of a pig chugging down wine. And it went overnight to one of the best-selling wines in the world because people could remember the name. People that could never walk into a wine store and they don't know anything about wine, but they could remember Fat Bastard Wine, and they would ask for it. And it wasn't great wine, but people remembered the name. So we wanted a name that went with a visual, big fat dragon, that people would remember without having to write it down or get a business card. If they just saw it, they would remember it. So that's kind of the background.
I can relate with my dice squad.
Yep.
So you guys make terrain.
Yeah.
But you guys sell the PDF for the terrain, is that correct?
Yeah, we started 13 years ago doing paper terrain. PDF, you'd print it out, fold it up, glue it together. And then about 4 years ago, we started eyeballing the rep movement with 3D printers and keeping an eye on it for when commercially available printers for home use came out. And I saw a report on Gartner Reports, which is a business analytics company. They put reports out for different industries, and they forecast 2017 as being the inflection year for consumer 3D printing. So I backed that up 2 years to 2015 and started putting our sets out because we're geeks, we're nerds. We tend to be early adopters on tech. So if the general population is going to have an inflection point 1 year, we're usually 18 months, 2 years ahead of that, just as a general culture. We love our tech, iPhones, whatever. So we put our first sets out, we did a Kickstarter, and it blew we had done 7 previous Kickstarters at that point, and it blew them all away.
Now how many days to complete to fund it?
We funded in 2 hours on that first one. And it was a 35-day Kickstarter. Prior to that, our best Kickstarter had been $72,000. We did over $100,000 on that first one. Our second 3D printer Kickstarter last October doubled that. We did about $200,000 on it. We're getting ready to launch our third one in September, so we're hoping that does even better.
What's the estimated point this time?
Not even going to do it. I am not jinxing this.
So, really, because you sell the PDFs,
right?
As long as you have a 3D printer, you can buy the PDFs and then make all the terrain you want.
As much as you want. You buy the STL file from us. There's no limit. There's no digital rights management or anything like that. You just buy it and print as much as you want.
Now, is there any difficulties with different, let's say if I buy one 3D printer and my friend has another 3D printer and they're two different ones, is it going to be different with the software ones?
No. It's STLs for this type of file is the equivalent of a PDF for a 2D printer. It will run on any 3D printer. This, you could have an SLA printer or an FDM printer, and they will all run it out in that file format. So once you buy this, you're good with any machine you get now or 5 years from now. It's kind of the industry standard. And really, the best part is the plastic is cheap. A piece like this will run you about 40 cents to print at home. A 28mm miniature will run you a nickel. So a starter printer runs about $220 once you get that. It's very cheap to create a massive dungeon layout.
Thank you.
Now, how long does it take, 'cause I know a PDF has a lot of different documents, how long does it take to make, like, if you're at home and you want to make a new PDF file, how long does it take to make one set piece or create one whole, set piece design?
Any one of these pieces takes me between 1 and 2 days to do. It's not terribly long. If you got something like this with a demon head on the wall or something, that's about 3 days of sculpting. All of this is done with a free software program called Blender. Anybody can download it. Anybody can sculpt their own 3D models. Watch some YouTube videos, get the tutorials. It's really not hard to learn. It's how I got into it. Same way for miniatures. You can do miniatures with this software. It does it very, very well.
How long does it take to make a miniature?
This is my latest. It's an iBeast. We're calling it that for trademark reasons. But this iBeast I did in about 8 hours. So
it looks nothing like the other game that has the.
Yeah. We don't even know. We're not even talking about that game.
So what's been the weirdest or most difficult thing you've had to create with the PDF?
Probably the most difficult thing we've done is modular housing. Now, this is based on a system that we came up with about a decade ago for paper terrain, where we'd have a foam core base, it had holes in it, you'd put a post in those holes and then link your walls to the post to do a building. But coming up with a way to do that that's totally modular for a 3D printed piece was a little different. We did eventually port it, but it took a lot of trial and error for about 6 months to do this. But it's fully modular. You can take the walls apart and create a design that's anything you want, any kind of floor plan, and then lift the levels off as the characters are going through the building.
That is amazing.
And all of our stuff links with clips.
Now, the clips you also in the PDF file?
Yeah, the clips print too. We just have them printed in a different color. It makes it easier to see. But all of these dungeon rooms are made with these 2x2 tiles. You then clip them together like this so you can make complete rooms. And as the group goes through the dungeon, you pull out a new room from under the table and drop it down. You can also make complete dungeon levels and stack them. So you could have a 3 or 4 tier dungeon and just as the PCs go down, keep lifting off levels.
So you could have Saturday Night Gaming is you could take it to a whole new level with.
Absolutely. I have my new tagline.
So what's the website people can go to download these?
FatDragonGames.com. And we have about 200 total sets, both paper and 3D STL. For the 3D STL, we have dungeons, we have keeps, caverns, village sets with sewers. Waterfalls, pretty much everything you could want. We have a new Kickstarter launching this September.
Okay.
So that will be very interesting. We're not giving any hints on it, but it's something.
You can't peel the envelope a little bit.
If you play D&D, you'll be very happy.
Okay.
So
maybe an IVs.
Maybe you might see that,
okay,
possibly.
Right. Well, we'll also have a link below for the future.
Okay.
Check out that Kickstarter.
Awesome.
So, with your Kickstarter, though, are there any special things help get people to check out your Kickstarter?
Yeah. With the Kickstarter, we have just a few core levels, and as it grows, we just do free bonus items, free stretch goals. So you basically double your offering with all of our Kickstarters. Like an $80, $90 pledge level on a Kickstarter will also get you another $80 or $90 in free stuff that would now be sold later if you don't get in on it. The Kickstarters also come with custom pieces you can't buy after the Kickstarter. We will do custom versions of the models because we can just do small additions, and only Kickstarter backers get those. So that's a really good way for us to get people to have an incentive to back the Kickstarter.
Gotcha. Now, has in the past and in the future, has there ever been any issues with, let's say, you set a goal for to ship out everything, and let's say that something hiccup or something like that? Has there been any kind of issues like that, or any kind of?
This will be our 9th Kickstarter. We have never missed a delivery date. Awesome. At 9. So we're hoping we keep that record, but yeah, so far we've.
Absolutely, of course. I've heard from many other Kickstarters that sometimes there's a few hiccups and.
There are, but like I said, we've been in business this is our 13th year. We've got enough staff. I've got contract sculptors and designers. We've got this planned out. We know where hiccups. We have people on call as a buffer if something gets delayed. We can shift it to. And like I said, out of 8 previous Kickstarters, we've never missed a delivery date. So.
Well, that's fantastic.
And it will happen now. So, thank you.
I'm sorry.
This is on tape now, and it's going to happen.
I'm sorry. Well, anyway, Thomas, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I mean, these models are fantastic. Go check them out. Check out their website.
Last call for any exhibitors that have vouchers that they would like to turn in.
And you know what? For all of us here at Dice Squad, continuing our coverage of Origins Game Fair 2017, this is Marshall Dice, also with Adam Campbell with
Tom Tullis, Fat Dragon Games.
And we'll see you guys. Stay tuned.